What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest gaming podcast on the internet, the One Up Gamescast. I am one of your hosts, Casting Claire, joined as always by my brother from another mother, the man with the plan, Master Chiefs in the sheets, Master Chief in the streets, Jack Gibb. How you doing, buddy?
I'm planless, but I'm good. I'm good. I've just finished Severance season 2, so don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my life, but happy to be
At
podcast.
least you don't have to wait 3 years for season 3, apparently.
That's what I've
So
heard.
that's an upside. That's an upside for you. You know what I mean?
I I can't really complain. I only started watching season 1 like a week ago, so I didn't have to endure the wait like everyone else. But yeah, recommend, high recommend if anyone hasn't seen it. Jump on it. No, not really gaming related, but good show.
You know, I was thinking about it. I don't think I've ever mucked up the Master Chief in the streets, Master Chief in the Master Chief in the sheets. And now that I've said that, I will next time. I will next time.
Well, I wanted to bring up the Halo TV show, so I don't know if we should like roll straight into it.
Yeah, man, roll straight into it. We ain't got like a big topic this week. We're just going to go over some of the news of the week, have a conversation, because you know that's what podcasts are. Sometimes they're just a nice little conversation. So, mate, please bring the mood down with your talking of the Halo TV show. I'm excited.
I still haven't seen season 2. I don't know if I could do it. But anyway,
Yeah, season 2 is rough.
I mean, they cancelled it after season 2 for a reason. Although, didn't someone buy it or pick it up or just buy the rights to it?
I hope not. I hope that story needs to end.
I might have to Google that, but apparently Phil Spencer himself was like taking charge on selling it. But it's not. It doesn't seem like they're going to continue with season 3. It just seems like someone else will get a chance, which is sort of where the story's sort of coming from. So I've jumped on videogamer.com and there, might just read a bit of it. Yeah, just gonna read a bit of it. So, video game adaptations are becoming more popular than ever. From Paramount's Sonic the Hedgehog movies to HBO's The Last of Us series, games now becoming the blueprint for blockbusters, and Xbox is taking notes. Sounds like they've just started. After two poorly received seasons of the Halo TV show, Xbox boss Phil Spencer believes the company has learned what not to do with its iconic IPs. Following the massive success of Amazon's Fallout adaptation, Xbox is hoping for more of that and less of Master Chief sleeping with a prisoner of war. Yep. It's a strong opener. Halo TV show taught Xbox a valuable lesson. So speaking to Variety, Xbox boss Phil Spencer explained that Xbox is working on more adaptations of its properties for the coming years. Alongside more seasons of Fallout, Xbox has more adaptations in the works. We learned from doing Halo, Spencer said. We learned from doing Fallout. So all of these build on themselves. And obviously we'll have a couple that miss, but what I'd say to the Xbox community that likes this work is you're going to see more because we're gaining confidence and we're learning through this. Spencer didn't confirm what adaptations are in the works for Xbox fans, while some have expressed an interest in a reboot of the Halo TV show or an ODST spin-off in the style of Band of Brothers. Yeah, we see you, Reddit Halo. There's no concrete plan for a continuation. Alongside the Xbox flagship, many fans have spent years clamoring for Gears of War movie as well, with Dave Bautista still pinning to play protagonist Marcus Phoenix. There's hope that a great action adaptation could release one day. Hell, if Netflix can spend $320 million on the Electric State, they can spend something on Gears. That's probably the meat of the article.
Yeah.
So yeah. So more's coming. More's coming, which I'm not surprised to hear that, to be honest. And they've learned from doing Halo. That's such an interesting call out. Like, I mean, I'm glad they're self-aware, but they did make 2 seasons. You know what I mean? A bit of a slow learn. What are your thoughts there initially?
I mean, the fact that they made 2 seasons could literally be something of like season 2 was in production before season 1 even aired. You know what I mean? Like they were already in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They're in trouble before they even knew it. Although if anybody watched that show before it aired, they should have known they were in trouble. Look. If I hope they have learnt. You know what I mean? I think they just need to honestly just get someone to make it who actually
Has played the game.
likes it. Because, like, there's so many people like, oh man, the Halo universe is so cool to be in, you know, oh, I can't wait to make something in the Halo universe, you know. We don't want something in the Halo universe. We want something with Master Chief, okay? Like, make something in the Halo universe later on. We need Master Chief to work first. It's just so... Like, Fallout works because clearly whoever made Fallout, whoever was in charge, had played Fallout. And another thing is, like, there's lots of talk about the new God of War show, right? And how that's already been greenlit for 2 seasons. And the person in charge of it turned around and said, I had to stop playing the games because I'm not really a gamer. I'm not very good at it. I'm like, oh, you know, then get someone to play it for you. Like, let's sit down and watch someone play it. Because, like, that'll be an interesting one to see if it, like, falls on its face or it actually does really, really well.
That's God of War, you said.
Yeah. That's...
The problem is with that is, like, the God of War lore. Now I'm not a big God of War person, so please stop me if I start saying something stupid. But, like, obviously, the lore that it's drawing down on is, like, in other, like, it's in other franchises. Like, as in, if you've consumed something else that has Thor in it, or you know what I mean. Like if you haven't played God of War games, you might start getting mixed up.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Seems risky as shit.
They're gonna... I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but
Dude, that'd be like me making the God of War movie and then taking inspiration from Marvel's Thor.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Loki and shit. Like no, like I'd be a fucking fool.
Yeah, it doesn't. It won't work. Like if they take it needs to be
the God of War games.
The God of War version of things. So hopefully they stick with that. That's why the Halo show didn't work. It wasn't Halo's version of Master Chief. It was a completely different person. It wasn't Master Chief, and that's why it fell on its face. That's why it didn't work. Because new people probably got drawn in who haven't played a Halo game before and were like, oh, what's all this Halo about? And I'm sad that that's their first time experiencing Halo, because that's not what Halo is. But yeah.
I know some people that were keen to watch the show because I've never played Halo. I'm like,
Don't.
I love the enthusiasm, but...
Don't do it. Please.
Some of the comments on the subreddit were great. I just want to call out one or two. Bit Cartoonist says, glad we used Halo to test out shit that doesn't work. That's where Microsoft sees the franchise. Look, I don't know if that's like fair because I feel like they just wanted Halo to work because it's huge, but
yeah,
it does kind of feel that way. Like if we've learned, we should have learned earlier.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Is there any IPs from Microsoft? I had a couple in mind, but is there any IPs that you would like to see turned into a show or movie more than others?
Look, everybody wants a Gears show or movie. I think that's a very big universe that you could draw from. I think that would be super cool to see. I wouldn't hate a Fable TV show in the vein of like Game of Thrones, where it's just like a little bit more adult and there's a big overarching story that, like, you know, that could be kind of cool. A perfect dark TV show, I think, would pop off. I think that would go really well.
I feel like that one could also be a movie.
Yeah, definitely a movie, for sure. If you did like a perfect dark TV show, I'd do it in the vein of like 24 or Alias or something like that. I think that could.
24 would be.
Could pop off. I think that would go pretty hard. Man, I'm just trying to think of like Xbox IP. You know what I mean? They own so much now. It's hard to think of like, you know, what's theirs, what's, you know, someone else's.
One that I think could have benefited from Halo's treatment, where it's just like anyone can make it, as in don't have to be a fan of the game, would be Sea of Thieves. Just make a good pirate thing and just sort of slap Sea of Thieves on the box.
I would love a Sea of Thieves animated show. That's like an adult animated show though.
Well, that'd be sweet.
You know, they're swearing, they're drinking alcohol, they're doing dumb shit. You know what I mean? Like, what's that? Is it Big Mouth? Is that show on Netflix where they're like those kids are like going through puberty and stuff like that? If you did something like that, that was like a Family Guy level of dumb shit. in a Sea of
Yeah,
Thieves
righto.
show. I think that would be super funny because like a lot of the Sea of Thieves clips and stuff you see online, it's just like I mean, look at what we did. We accidentally lit a ship on fire while someone was AFK. You know what I mean? Like that sort of stuff is like too funny, and like I think a Sea of Thieves TV show that was doing like dumb stuff like that would actually be pretty good.
Even just a good machinima would probably
Oh
tick a
yeah,
lot of these
yeah,
boxes.
absolutely. That'd be dope. That'd be really cool.
I imagine a lot of the adaptations are probably going to be drawn from like Bethesda and stuff. Like I feel like Xbox. I don't know. It's just like part of me is like I don't think Xbox is going to be able to move on until they make a good Halo thing. I feel like it's just bringing the whole ship down.
Yeah, I wish they'd move on.
Yeah, man, yeah. I don't want to get stuck in that rut on this episode, but I absolutely do. Could you ever see Call of Duty getting a movie or something?
Yeah, I could. I think it would need to be. I think it would need to be handled properly. I think it would need to be. I think if they're going to do it, they need to draw from one of the big three that they have. I think it's either going to be like a Modern Warfare story, a Black Ops story. I think that needs to be.
What do you reckon? Just retell like the first trilogy or something?
I think it'd have to. Like, I think it'd have to. Otherwise, it falls into like generic army movie. You know what I mean? I think if it's retelling a key story from the franchise, I think that would be great. And I think Modern Warfare would be the one to do it because I think the Black Ops series goes all over the place too quickly. I mean, you've got the first one set during the Cold War, and then the second one is set during 2025. And then it goes all the way to like 2030 something, and then it goes back in time again with like, that's too all over the place. So I think if you like, you did Modern Warfare, you know, you did Modern Warfare 2 and then finish with 3, like I think that would be a pretty good story. And I think it would be the older games story, not the newer ones. I think the older ones would, they're more Hollywood than the newer ones, I think. I think the newer ones try to be more dark and edgy, whereas the older ones feel like a Hollywood movie with a lot of the set pieces and stuff. So I think if you adapted the original trilogy, I think you know, I think that'd get bums in seats. I think it'd be a good time. I think people would enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. I think do the older trilogy, and I think do 3 movies to match the 3 games.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be good. And I mean, yeah, they all end in a place where it's like, it, you know, makes you want to know more, see more. And the third one, I think would end. I think the ending of the third game would work better in a movie than it does for a player. I think it's more of a crescendo in a movie than the crescendo we got. But they tried. You know, it's hard to follow up Modern Warfare 2. They did a pretty good job.
Oh, we had that conversation the other night.
We
like
did.
Modern Warfare 3 is a great game, but it is in the shadow of Modern Warfare 2.
It really is, and I feel sorry for it, especially because it was like Sledgehammer that did it. Like, there's also that as well.
They just cannot catch a fucking break.
No, they can't win, unfortunately. They are trying. I'll give them that. They really do try. They really do try.
I've just pulled up a list of games I've worked on just to remind myself, okay?
Mm.
So yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was their first.
Yeah.
This is games they've released, by the way. I don't think this includes the million cancelled games.
Oh.
Then they did Advanced Warfare.
Mm.
Then they did World War II.
Unlucky.
Then they assisted Infinity Ward with Modern Warfare 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And they worked on a bit of Warzone. They assisted Treyarch with Cold War. They then did Vanguard. They then assisted on Modern Warfare 2. Assisted on Warzone 2. Did Modern Warfare 3, but assisted by every other studio on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And then assisted with Black Ops 6. They've not only not caught a break, they've not had a break.
Yeah. It's rough.
They didn't release something in 2018. Fuck, man. No wonder they've got so many studios. They opened a Melbourne studio recently. Like,
They're overworked.
They clearly are important and are good at what they do. But I would love to see them get 4 years to make something.
Hopefully. There was rumors that there was going to be an additional studio added so that every single studio would get a 4-year development cycle.
Yeah, the problem is that's really not true until it's true. Is it true? Is it?
Yeah. I would be fine if Call of Duty... I feel like they were going to do it, but I would be fine if like we just got a DLC the year after. Like, we get a brand new COD, we get a DLC, add some maps, adds
like a $50 DLC. Or
Yeah.
something, like something seriously
And then,
significant. Yeah.
give everybody else a chance to develop their games because they're just not doing it. like I think they always did in Modern Warfare 3, but then realize that they probably going to lose some monies.
Well, what did we get out of Treyarch's 4-year development cycle? Like Omni Movement, right? Like that's
Omni Movement.
But apart from that, and that is a great thing. I love Omni Movement. But
I mean, Omni Movement.
It's not like there was double the maps.
Zombies in a pretty good place.
Zombies is in a pretty good place.
Fair. I feel like they put a lot of work into that. We got a pretty decent campaign that completely changes how campaigns should be done in the future. I mean, we got like a big open world map inside of the campaign that didn't feel tacked on. It didn't feel like it's its own beast. Like it's not ripped from Warzone like the other ones were. Like it's its own thing. They did a whole bunch of stuff with. We got a decent campaign out of it. Yeah, but like, I mean, Omni Movement is probably something that took a bit of work. I'll give them that. But yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see what we get this year, which is just rumored to be more like a remake of Black Ops 2 or something like that, which is probably what people want anyway. You know, I think it might be time that maybe it is time that we just like, even if they wanted to do next year is Modern Warfare 4, then the year after that it's an OG Modern Warfare 3 remake or something like that. Like start remaking some of the older games that clearly people want. I mean, Modern Warfare 2 remaster was great, just didn't have multiplayer. Clearly because they're about to put all the multiplayer into the mainline game, which is not what people wanted. I think they're scared of stepping on their own toes when really if they just I feel like they could have dropped that Modern Warfare 2 remaster and that could have kept people going for like a year and it would have given everybody a break and everybody time just to get on top of it, you know what I mean? And that because
not only does it mean an easier development cycle, but then we get a thing like Omni Movement.
Yeah.
You know, we get some innovation. Like
that's it.
Which I haven't really seen that much.
We really need. Like the last time there was real talk about a game changing like how Call of Duty is was Ghost, and people hate Ghost. Like, and I would say if Ghost dropped today, people would be pretty happy with it because it's been a rough ride. It's been a rough ride. I don't think Ghost is that bad. Like as a game, like I didn't hate it as much as people did. Because we want something different, you know. Call of Duty Black Ops was like so futuristic, and then we got nothing but future games, and now people are like, we want boots on the ground. We got nothing but boots on the ground. It's like it's impossible to keep people happy. But yeah, Ghost was sort of the last time they were like, we've got fish AI, we like scan this dog, and they were like really trying new stuff, and then the community is like, we don't want this. It's like, what do you want then? You know what I mean? You haven't made exactly what you want clear.
I think you've nailed it though. I think if every second year was like go back to the glory days, quote unquote, and then the year after was like let's try and move forward. I feel like there's room for both. Like the Call of Duty audience is massive, and there's people that probably haven't played the game in 10 years that would happily come back for a Modern Warfare 2 remake.
Yeah, or just let people make smaller experiences as well. You know, like what if we like we really gave a studio time to do something, right? And then you let Treyarch go off, right? And they start working on whatever they want to next. But in the interim, if we need something to release, finally let them drop a zombie game that is just zombies. You know what I mean? Let them drop that 1 year. And then it's like, you know, there's the Call of Duty remake from last year that people could keep playing. But if you really need new Call of Duty stuff, drop the zombie game. People want a zombie game. And then you've got another year up your sleeve for someone to work on the next big thing. The next iteration of Call of Duty, the next step forward. But it's just hard. Like I think it's like it's not just a COD thing. I think it's like an industry thing. Like there are so many games out there that are just stuck in what works because it either takes way too much development time to iterate, and by that point, you know, the investors don't want to, you know, they want their money. They don't want to, you know, spend more time than they need to. And that's just not how it's going to work anymore. You know, we keep getting glazed every time a new console drops with, gaming going forward is going to be awesome. But then they keep releasing games on the previous hardware because, you know, not everybody's jumped onto the next console because it's too expensive. So we're being held back by that. So there's less innovation that can happen, and what innovation could happen is held back by investors who want their games out within the next 15 minutes of announcement because they want to make their money back. And it's just, it's just gaming feels like it's at a standstill. Do you know what I mean? Then you've got people like, I would say, Rockstar are about to drop a Grand Theft Auto, which is just going to flip everything on its head. And then investors are going to be like, well, why can't our game do that? Because Rockstar's been developing this for 3 console generations. You know what I mean? Like, we've had how many Call of Duties since Grand Theft Auto 5? You know what I mean? Like,
that's an interesting way of putting it.
Like, if you really want... Yeah, it's like if you really want innovation in COD, you need to give them time to do it. But, the second... They're scared that the second they don't have a new Call of Duty on the shelf, people aren't going to care anymore. And that's just not the case. Like, if you give us a good game, if you support a good game, that's what support studios are for. To support something, let them support the game. Let them create maps. Let them do it. You know what I mean? Like, instead of just putting all the support on the next Call of Duty game to pump it out within a couple of years, let them support the game while you let somebody go off and make a brand new experience years down the track. I think there's only a few studios that get away with it. I mean, Insomniac's another one, I think, that do a really good job, and I don't think they're rushed. I think they're allowed to take their time and do what they need to do, and, Naughty Dog's another one. Naughty Dog have had the opportunity to sort of, like, take their time with their games, and look what we get out of it. We get games with, like, great stories. Sometimes the gameplay doesn't always hold up, but when you've got a story that can drag you all the way through to the end, that you don't mind putting up with a little bit of, like, repetitiveness or mundane tasks, like, if the story's great, then, you get there. But, these long franchises that have been around for so long that, should still be king of the mountain, just aren't. Like, Halo isn't given enough time, and when it is given time, they're trying to chase a trend that no one cares about anymore. Like, I feel like chasing trends is the thing in the industry that's really stopped it from being able to grow, which sucks. Rocksteady used to be that studio that, like, they were putting out banger after banger and nobody rushed them. They got it out, and then they took 10 years and look what came. Something that felt rushed because it probably was in the last couple of years. Like, trends changed and Warner Brothers wanted something different every single time. So when we finally get the full story of what happened over there, I think we're going to see a story of 5 different games developed over a 10-year period, and the game we got in the end was an amalgamation of all of them, which was just chasing trends at the time. Chasing the trend of Destiny, you know what I mean? Which had come out 10 years prior, which would make sense.
Well, I mean, it came out, a year before the last Batman game.
So it would make sense why they were chasing that trend, but yeah. Warner Brothers put their blinders on. They're like, we want our Destiny type game. And then 10 years went by and they took the blinders off and they're like, what the fuck's a battle royale? Like, oh man, make a Batman battle royale. It's like, no, please, God, no. But yeah, it's just hard. Like, games take longer, games are becoming more expensive, and people just don't have the luxury of time. Which is the opposite when it comes to making movies and TV shows. So I don't know why the hell we're getting such mediocre crap. Like, they can take their time. That's sad.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. And I think, a few things I could add, but like, just to pivot a little bit, like you see a lot online of people speculating whether Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to cost more. Like, is it going to be an $80 game in America? So obviously we had $60 games and they went up to 70 and $125 fucking dollars here. But will GTA cost more per copy? Because they could charge more, and like, it won't really change how many people buy it. But
yeah. I don't think they need to.
I don't think they need to. My fear is that if they do, like, then Ubisoft will come along and be like, hey, we think our next game's worth that as well.
Then
it's like, well,
yeah, but see, then they've got to prove it. You know what I mean? Like, Grand Theft Auto, if they were to be like, hey, guess what? Like, it's $100 here in the States. I guarantee that when you buy GTA 6 for $100, you're going to get $100 worth of value in the next 10 years. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sure you'd get $100 of value in the first 100 days.
Yeah, but it's like, the thing is, it's like they've already proved that they're going to support their game. Like, GTA 5 has been supported and ported to everything. Like, whenever you jumped on board, whether you bought a new copy of GTA, you were supported. Online was always updated. There was always something new to do. Everyone was always on there, right? We all paid $100 here in Australia for the crew, and now it's gone. Do you know what I mean? So if Ubisoft is going to turn around and go, hey, we're going to start charging $100 for our game, I'm going to turn around and say, cool, prove to me that I'm still going to be able to play it in 10 years' time. Do you know what I mean? Are you going to support, like, the way they are supporting? And they're just not. Like, there are so many people out there that shouldn't be charging as much for their games as they are. But games are more expensive to make, and it's difficult. But I mean, GTA is that one game that, you know, I feel like they could charge everybody $40 and then they'll make 3 times back what they freaking put into it. You know, like they could charge less and still make the money back.
Yeah, no, I'm totally sure that's true. I think you make a great point about the long-term support. Like, I was thinking more like Skull and Bones when Ubisoft announced that was a quadruple A game, and then it just wasn't.
But they've announced another year of support, so I can't argue with the fact that they're supporting it. But I'd love for them to go out there and support something that people are actually playing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. The crew situation's fucked. They've made some commitments for the crew too, and I'm sure they mean them. But I think they are releasing an offline mode, for instance. Yeah, like it's an interesting one, and you know, like Siege is interesting because it's like we're going to use the same publisher as an example of them doing it right.
Yeah,
you know, it's 10 years old, and we're giving it a big facelift, a big refresh. And you know, I've seen online a few people not happy with some of the choices, but like I think you'd be hard pressed to find someone that thinks it should just be turned off. You know, like I think it's worth having the game around still, and it's getting a refresh. And I'm actually keen to jump in June. Like I think I'm ready to like dive back in and put some time into that.
Yeah.
But like Year 9 didn't do it for me. Like it needs that refresh. And I'm not saying I want Skull and Bones to the last 10 years, but I think you're right. If you're going to charge a lot of money, the game got to at least fucking work.
I mean, what's also crazy and not something you would see Ubisoft do is like Siege X, like it's going to be sort of free to play, you know, as well. Like they're moving in a direction where they want to get more like people playing it.
Yeah.
And I think people also need to remember that like Ubisoft aren't normally like this. Like we should reward this behavior because they could very much have easily turned around and just gone, hey, thanks for putting hundreds and thousands of dollars into this game for the last 10 years. Here's a sequel. It's $120 to get in on the ground floor and none of your stuff carries over. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're very much...
I don't know if I would have even complained.
No one would have complained. Everybody just would have been like, oh, Siege sequel. You know what I mean? Like, everybody would have got really excited.
Like, really, they've done good. They've done the right by the players with this choice. And look, if it bombs for whatever reason, they can always go back to plan B and make a sequel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I think that's such a good call out, Kyle. Like I think you've nailed it. Like they've made the right choice, probably by their teams, by us, by the licensees of all their fucking skins and shit. Like they've done right by the business and the player.
Yeah.
And I don't think we see that often these days. I wouldn't say we see that often at all at the moment.
No, we really don't. No, honestly, we don't. And it's crazy to say that that's come from Ubisoft because, I mean, look at what they're doing with a whole bunch of, like, all their games, really. They're in a bit of trouble and they need to pull themselves out.
I feel like they're trying.
I think they are. And I think it'll be interesting to see how they support Shadows and all that sort of stuff. Like, because they're definitely going to announce we're going to see the next Assassin's Creed this year at Ubisoft Forward. It's going to happen. We're going to see Assassin's Creed Hexe or whatever it's called. We're going to see it. And in that moment...
With all these Shadows delays, that game is not delayed.
Yeah, Hexe is probably next year. And I think the Black Flag remake is definitely this year. So...
They need that Black Flag remake. So is my understanding correct that after Shadows, Assassin's Creed's going to have another evolution and become like sort of back from the RPG space, right? That's what we've been told.
That's what we've been told, is that they're moving back in that direction of it being more classic.
I don't know if that's true or not necessarily. Like, as in, I don't know how much we can trust that, but I feel like a Black Flag remake would reset the palette.
Mm.
And then whatever comes after that, we'll judge it for what it is. Yeah.
I think this year, Ubisoft Forward is just going to be an Assassin's Creed Direct again. I think we're going to see the Black Flag remake. We're going to see that, and that's going to get a November release. I think we're going to see Hexe for the first time, and that's going to come out next year, Christmas time. And I think early next year, we're going to see an original Assassin's Creed remake, which is the one that everybody's really after. Because going back and playing the original Assassin's Creed is rough. So I think an original Assassin's Creed remake is sort of warranted at this point. It's been a long time. I mean, Jesus Christ. What are we in 2025? So in 2 years' time, Assassin's Creed 1 came out 20 years ago.
Fuck.
That's a long time.
And that doesn't need a remaster. That needs like a
That needs
remake.
a
Like that
remake.
needs a Spyro treatment. No, not that. The Final Fantasy treatment.
Yeah, that from the ground up.
Yeah.
That needs to be completely redone. And then I think we see Assassin's Creed just start remaking everything, and I think it'll show them that
They could do that very quickly.
honestly, they could, but I think like if you remake one and then remake two, and then I think you can sort of gauge where people want Assassin's Creed to go. And
you could probably at some point start getting away with remasters.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen like a Syndicate remaster or anything yet. They basically remastered the Ezio trilogy and basically the American trilogy, I think.
Right.
The quote-unquote America trilogy, which is Assassin's Creed 3, Liberation, and Rogue. Which is funny because like I feel like Black Flag slots into there, but that's getting a full-on remake, so that's good. I'm surprised. Like I'm sure Unity will come back at some point and Syndicate will come back at some point, but I don't think we need to see Origins, Odyssey, or Valhalla for a long time or ever again. Origins maybe. Origins is pretty good. That's right before they decided to jump off the deep end and start making the story good. But I digress. But yeah, seeing how they support Shadows will be really interesting. Because they could very much easily be like, okay, we got a year's worth of content planned, and then we got a new Assassin's Creed game, so we're just going to drop Shadows and not worry about it anymore. But like Assassin's Creed in Japan has been something that the community has been clamoring for and asking for since 2. So they better do right by us, because like we've like us people that have been playing Assassin's Creed since the start and have played every single one and put hundreds and thousands of fucking hours into these games. Like we deserve Japan to be good time. Treated with some respect.
I've been so nervous because I feel like the people that wanted it most were the fans from before the RPG ones.
Yeah.
But the reviews seem alright, so
yeah, they seem pretty positive.
For the one-up review to know for sure. But
I'm keen to jump in, but yeah, it's gonna be one of those things where it's like I'm gonna get sucked in, and it's gonna take me a really long time to get to the end. Whereas like Odyssey, I didn't get sucked in, and I powered through.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I just wanted it to be over when they started doing things that just weren't good. And then the deal. Oh, I'm not gonna go on another Assassin's Creed tirade. We can make a whole episode out of that. Actually, just my thoughts on Assassin's Creed. Odyssey is not an Assassin's Creed game. Neither is Valhalla. They try, but they're not. Origins was the last Assassin's Creed game we got, and that's only because they tried to keep the story pretty on path with it. But I'm interested to see Shadow's story, how like if it even sort of like loops in with what's going on.
Yeah.
Please God, bring back the modern day stuff. It was great. I liked it. There's a lot of us out there that like the modern day stuff.
Speaking of re-releases and that sort of stuff, mate, PUBG coming to PS5 and Xbox Series.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Are you excited about that, or is it just something like I play on PC, so more people to kill?
I'm excited because next time I can finally convince Jake to get back on and he forces us to play on console. It won't run like fucking shit.
It's crazy they haven't got crossplay for that.
It's exciting. Yeah, it's just so much slower on console. Like, well, look, I'm sure someone who plays console more than me may disagree, but I just find the style of play to be a lot slower. And to be honest, I don't mind that. But I think crossplay would be a tough challenge. Like, it's not even forget the keyboard mouse shooting versus controller. It's just like the inventory management, things like that are just slower. To be fair, they've made some improvements, but I don't know. I just wanted to call that out because I was actually kind of shocked because I'm like, is that not already a thing? No, it's definitely not.
No, it's not.
It takes advantage of the Xbox Series and PS5, like SSDs, like the maps load properly and stuff. But it's not a native version, so that's coming late in the year.
That's good. About time.
Because they announced their 8th year roadmap the other day, and it's got about fuck all in it. So that's really the big thing. They're still working towards Unreal Engine 5. And,
God, PUBG feels like it has been around so much longer than 8 years, bro.
I know, and I don't even think I got into it in the first year, so like it's even less for me.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. That's mental.
It is.
It's so much longer.
It's good that it's still getting support. It has a real split in the community. Like the Asian audiences and the Western audiences want different things quite often. and I think they really struggle to please both sides.
Yeah.
So apparently the console version is really only asked for by the Western audience. It's just not really played on
Yeah,
console.
I would believe that.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like the Asian audience are all playing mobile because it's like sick. It's got like cool crossovers
PUBG
and
Mobile's
shit.
solid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the like. I wish they brought those sort of crossovers to the console and PC version. That'd be a reason to get on.
I agree. They actually call out all that shit being a reason why the Xbox One and PS4 version runs so shit. Because every time they had events and stuff, they have a little less memory to play with.
So it's weird that it's taken them this long to bring it to current
I
gen.
just don't think it's popular. Like, just simply.
They need to have like show some balls. You know what I mean? Bring it to current gen. Have a big event that happens. Like, you know, have some cool crossovers. Really get it back in the face of the public.
I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but like the console version, all the events start 2 weeks later than the PC version. Like, it's just treated as a second-rate citizen, honestly. So I hope that this upgrade brings it to like one sort of level playing field of support. You know what I mean?
Fingers crossed. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
so crazy.
Not as crazy as Gates Alpha, though. You know, we're just jumping from shit thing to shit thing here.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the go there?
With what? Sorry?
Skates Alpha.
People were not happy because it was effectively like to fully access the alpha and enjoy everything in it, you needed to spend real money, which is like crazy to think.
They wouldn't give you money to spend.
No, you put real money in, and it was actually insane. So like the equivalent was, hang on, I have it here. So like they have different SVB. So SVB is Sandvan Bucks, which is what the in-game currency is called.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, and you can get them in lots of 500, 1,050, which includes a 5% bonus. 3,000, 6,250, and 13,000 SVB. And starting from the bottom, it was £5. €5, which is the equivalent of $8.64 Australian. The 1,050 was basically €10, which is $17.26 Australian. The 3,000 SVB was €24.99, which is $43.18 Australian. The 6,250 SVB was €49.99, which is the equivalent of $86.36 Australian.
Wait, that was available to purchase in the alpha?
Yes. And the top one, 13,000 SVB, was €99 and basically €100, which is the equivalent of $172.74 Australian.
Okay, that's actually worse than I thought. That's really bad. That's real bad.
Yep. And none of the purchases made during the alpha carryover. They're all reset. So
Did we get a refund or something?
So any SVB spent, any of the money you've spent will be refunded to you as SVB when the game launches.
Yeah. Okay. That's a big commitment.
Provided players have the same EA account.
To be fair, though, like the alpha looks absolutely rubbish. So I think if you're playing it and actually enjoying it, then maybe you're invested. I don't know. I want to play that game because like the videos and the trailers they look shit, but like the game can't be that bad. You know what I mean? Like like it's been built by the right people. They're taking the right approach. Fans coming in to play it. They're doing all the right things. So when I look at it and go, gee, that looks awful, I don't think I'm being fair. I think I just need to get some They just need to open up that fucking alphas and get some more people in, I think.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of the Battlefield alpha or leaks or whatever it is, where we watch it and we're like, hang on, that looks all right.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe, but it looks all right.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
Have we talked about it on the podcast?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we have. There's been a lot going on lately, to be honest. Like it's
so much going on,
which surprises me because normally this stuff sort of like really kicks on around summertime in America. So it's nice that we got some news though. It's good, keeps us busy.
It is.
But it's crazy. Battlefield does look good though. I will say that, but I'm not going to say it out loud because I've just said it out loud, people are going to hear me have said that. They're going to yell at me.
The way I've been thinking about it is like, odds are it could be good, it could be bad. But if it was to be good, all these things would have to happen, and they're happening. So it's like, okay, there's still a chance this could work.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, like I'm not counting it out.
Yeah. My joy will
Not
go
very
up when I've had the opportunity to play it.
Honestly, I understand that their servers probably aren't ready for it, but the minute they think they can support it, they should start widening it as fast as they can.
Yeah, honestly, more people playing it and talking about it is probably good for them.
You know how we were looking at the leaked footage and we're like, gee, the people playing this are awful, rah, rah.
Yeah.
Someone made a really good point, and I didn't even think about this. Someone made a great point that the people that are really good probably understand what the fucking NDA is and love Battlefield and don't want to be kicked out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like they probably just, yeah. It's quite interesting.
That's fair. That's a fair call. That is a fair call.
I don't know if you have anything else lined up. I got a question for you. If not,
I will answer your question and then I'll end on good news.
all right, beautiful. Question. So, handhelds. You know, Nintendo's doing one, Xbox is doing one, PlayStation's doing one.
Yep.
Sounds like Xbox is partnering with ASUS for a handheld later this year. There was leaks today that showed the word Steam and the filter list in the Xbox app, which means Microsoft's probably trying to bring all the games together. Not removing Steam, but just like showing games installed on your computer, that sort of thing. I have a question. And I think I have my own answer, but I'm interested in your thoughts. Back when like the Vita was a thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, we have the Uncharted Vita game.
Yep.
And we have the Uncharted PS4 games and PS3 games.
Yes.
Do you see Xbox forcing the simultaneous release clause that they've got on the Xbox? So if you release a game on the Xbox, like, you know, console in the living room, it also has to be workable on the portable? Or do you think they'll finally let people just make a game for the platform they want?
I think they'll let people make a game for the platform they want.
It's going to be interesting because, like, I feel like the power gap between the two is going to be so big.
I feel like
there'll be things that just can't
Yeah.
work on the hand.
in my mind, it's like if it's deck approved, that's enough for Xbox.
I like that. I like the deck approved program. I
Yeah.
think that's a really smart way of doing things.
I think Xbox will do the same thing.
I feel like Xbox should, if I was them and this was like I was running the studios, I would be like, hey, you don't have to make the game for both, but I need 50% of your games to be for both.
Yeah.
As in, you know, Sea of Thieves for both, but I understand if Perfect Dark isn't for both or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's sort of like how... I think that's where development sort of has been moving, because I feel like people do want to be deck approved. I feel like the user base for that is so much bigger than anybody anticipated it being, so I feel like people really want to be like, oh, I don't want my game not played because it doesn't go on a Steam Deck or it doesn't work on these handheld PCs that everyone is using at the moment.
One of the big problems in the handheld space at the moment is on Windows, like they're starting to move to ARM processors, and all the anti-cheats break. They don't run. So even if you run the game on an ARM processor laptop and the chip converts all the x86 commands into ARM commands and it runs, the kernel level anti-cheat breaks. And like just doesn't, I don't know how it breaks, but the game can't run.
Right.
So that's like your Fortnite. It's like all your competitive games just suddenly break. And so Epic Games is working with Qualcomm, I think, to try and overcome that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying the Xbox handheld's going to be ARM-based, but if they get to cut corners to make this thing run better, like how the Steam Deck runs Linux, like it doesn't run Windows, therefore there's a compatibility layer in between. I can't imagine Microsoft's going to cut corners, but I just, like, there's a lot of investment going into solving these problems is where I'm trying to head with this conversation. Like, I think the amount of money going into handheld shit at the moment, and I guess ARM includes laptops or whatever, is quite impressive, and I'm excited to see where it's going. But yeah, I just like wanted to get what your thoughts were on like whether we'll see still just like console games, you know, like
I think we will.
I don't know what that would be, but like if GTA doesn't want to run on a handheld on day one, like I feel like we should let that be okay.
Yeah. I think we will. I think we'll see. I think Xbox will definitely want to push more towards having them run on both, but I don't think they're going to make it a requirement. I think there are so many games out there that, like, I think of a game as an experience. Like, I think it running on a handheld should be put to the back of the mind and you can work that stuff out later. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're developing GTA to run on a handheld. I don't think they developed Last of Us to work on a handheld. I don't think they should develop the next Halo to work on the handheld, but they probably will because that's what they're doing. But I don't think they should.
Though, it's like they release it and then let the handheld catch up.
That's it, yeah. Like, because you need these big experiences, because these big experiences, you know, they get people into gaming. That will eventually get people to buy a handheld. So it's like, you need to get people in with these big tent poles, which is like, you know, if you're playing... You're not playing GTA, Last of Us, Spider-Man, the new Halo. You're not jumping in day one to play that on your handheld. You know what I mean? You're sitting back... You're cracking open a can of mother. You're looking at your bloody 4K monitor, your bloody 8K TV. You're getting excited and you're locking in to play it. You know what I mean? And then in a couple of years' time, when you're like, man, I wish I might replay that game. Oh man, I can't be screwed sitting in front of the TV. I just want to lay in bed. Then you play it handheld.
That's probably the place I would want to play The Last of Us Part 2 again. Curled up in bed with a
So you can cry.
tree.
I understand. I get it.
Traumatized all over again.
Woo!
Mate, you had some good news to end the show.
I have some great news to end the show. And ladies and gentlemen, if you know me, you know that I am a fan of all things gaming. And that also includes tabletop games. So you can understand that my pickle was tickled. My joy was uncontrollable when Saber and Focus Entertainment announced that, yes, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 3 is already in development. I am so happy. I don't have to wait 10 years for a sequel to the second game, because the second game was so good. The only thing stressing me out is they're like, don't worry guys, we're not going to push the second game into like a games with service. They might do it with the third one because it feels like people really wanted more, but I don't think we need more. I think we just need a solid game that does what it needs to do. This be a 360 hours game like the second one was. I mean, the first one was a 360 game, so it's already a 360 hours game. But yeah, honestly, I'm just happy that Space Marine isn't like... It made enough and made enough waves that they're like, let's do it. And they dropped a teaser trailer with rain. And that's it.
Sad time.
It's just a guy standing in the rain. It was really nice. But yeah, I just wanted everyone to know that there is a new Space Marine coming, and we're definitely going to talk about it. Let's go, baby. Mate, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for ending this on a high note.
We got to, you know? It was pretty sad at the start. Thinking about the Halo TV show, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. To keep up to date with everything going on at 1UP, be sure to head over to oneupgames.com. We are posting there daily. News, reviews, previews, and all that fun stuff. So definitely be sure to head over there and check it out. You can also find links to everything, including our socials. And if you're watching right now on YouTube, please hit that like button if you enjoyed. And remember to subscribe so you can get all the gaming goodness as it drops. But that is going to do it from us this week. Until next time, may all of your games be good ones, and we will catch you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.